So tell me how you got started in boxing. Why did you get into the sport of boxing?
Well, it was in 1963. 61, 62, 63. I didn't want to box. I wanted to be a wrestler. My manager, John O'Rourke, guy from New York, tricked me into boxing.
How do you trick you?
Because he told me to train, and then he would look for me a wrestling match, and I never got it. I had no background record. I just seen him on TV. Bobo was there, and Buddy Rod, and Killer Kowalski, and all of them. I just wanted to do it. I had no background wrestling, but I wanted to. I thought it was real. Okay. But my best life was in fighting. I really loved it. I really loved it. I loved to hit him, hear him grunt. You know, got a lot out of that.
Well, you made a lot of guys grunt, that's for sure.
First thing I noticed about Bob, he was a short, very compact, powerful man, but his arms were extraordinarily long. I mean, like, he had the reach of a guy 6'6". He was thickly muscled, but still very fluid.
He was one of the hardest hitting guys I ever boxed. I mean, he was a heavyweight, but I'm a light heavyweight, but Lord, he could hit. And he hit me with a combination, and I knew I couldn't do anything about it, but I tried to smoke him, and then when I hit him with a 4 or 5 punch combination, he got ready to react, and I got out of the ring. Yeah.
He was a guy that could take you out easily with either hand. He never ducked anybody, and nobody fought the guys one after another like he did.
Tell me about the Freeport gym and JoJo Moore and Sonny Moore, and what do you remember about JoJo Moore and those guys?
Well, JoJo was like a father to me. He was my trainer. He was like a father. Mm-hmm. He looked over me real good. You know, and that was it. He was my man. He was a father figure for us. He was there. If he had a problem, you'd go to him. You know, and he would understand and talk to you about it.
Let me ask you one more thing about Bob Stallings. Was he the guy? Was he the role model for you three guys?
Well, he set us on this journey. Yeah. Because, like I said, we grew up in the Carolinas. We knew nothing about boxing. There was no boxing in our area, and we came to New York. He was here first, so he was already in it. Then Ed came to New York, and he took Ed to the gym with him. Then Ed took me with him, and then Willie came up. He's the youngest.
In 1972, I'm going to read off a bunch of fights, right? So you beat Billy Daniels. 73, yeah. You fought Ron Lyle. Then you beat Mac Foster, Charlie the Devil Green, James J. Woody, Bobby Mashburn, Earnie Shavers. That's really quite a run. I mean, talk about those fights and what was, you beat some of the best guys in the world right there.
Well, everybody I fought, they got a title shot, and I didn't get them, but I didn't understand. I guess probably bad management.
Is that what you think it was?
Huh?
Is that what you think it was? Bad management?
Yeah, that's the way it goes in boxing. Back in our days, it's different now. You see, it's different back in our days. It's who you know back in them days. If you didn't know nobody, you didn't get the shot. So I must didn't know nobody. After I beat Earnie Shavers November 4th, 1974, some people wanted to buy my contract, but he wouldn't sell it. So I didn't fight no more. Went down the drain. That's what I call bad management.
Yeah.
It really hurted me.
Yeah.
They got the shot, I didn't get it.
Anyone fought Bob Stallings, they were in for a tough night.
What you have to remember is, this is back 60s and 70s. Every guy was an animal. Once you hit a certain point, there was no easy fights. And they certainly, in those days, weren't going to get you an easy fight. He was a black man, and they used him.
The top 10 ran 20 deep back then. And one big difference about them compared to any of the other eras, they all fought each other. 1970s, I'm on board with everyone who says that was the golden era for heavyweights.
This is a man that really, at any other given time, or later on in boxing, meaning different era, certainly have fought for the world title.
He fought 5 guys that fought for the title, and you're talking about a time period when there was only one champ. So there's a lot less titles going out now. Bob Stallings was in the mix.
What do you remember most about the Shavers fight?
Oh Lord. when he hit me with that right hand uppercut. Oh Lord. I'll never forget that. That's always on my mind. Cause he could hit now.
Yeah.
Earnie Shavers was a good hitter.
Yeah.
But I could take the punch. I took the punch. I had to beat him. Well, I was a little nervous. But see, now after I beat him, I should have got the title shot.
Right.
But he got the title shot. I think it happened because of my style. I had my own style. You know what way I was hitting. What were the punches coming from? Left field, right field, where? I think that's what the whole thing about. Now, I was too short then. I was only 5'9". I'm only 5'9" 3/4.
Yeah.
I kept pressure on him. Well, now, like I said, now he could hit now. Because in the first round, he hit me with that right hand uppercut. But because the guard was kind of so loud. After he hit me, I only heard one person calling, "Come on, Daddy," about my son calling on me. And I got strong. I didn't care nothing about him. I did what I had to do to get the win. If he hit me on top of the head or on the bottom of the head, it didn't matter to me. All I want to do is win.
Him fighting Earnie Shavers was the first professional fight I had ever attend. And that was at the Felt Farm. He was about my height, but had long arms. And he hit Earnie Shavers with overhand right, and I thought everybody in the Felt Farm had passed out. I'm serious. You know, Earnie Shavers was a banger.
Yeah, he was.
He was a banger. But he hit him with that overhand right, and he got quiet in the Felt Farm. You know, you couldn't tell us anything that night.
What did you remember about fighting Chuck Wepner?
Oh, God, me and Chuck, we had a good battle. Me and Chuck had a good battle. It was a good fight. And that story about Rocket, remember that story about Rocket?
Yes.
It was based on me and Chuck Wepner.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was based on me and Chuck Wepner on that fight.
How was it sparring with George Foreman?
He was a hard hitter, man. He always tried to hurt you.
Where did you spar with him? Was it in New York, or did you go down to Houston, or?
I went to Texas where he was at. And then I worked with him in Kingston, Jamaica.
Oh, so you were in Kingston for the Frazier fight.
Yeah.
Did he hire you because of your size? Did he think that you were similar in size to Frazier?
I think he picked me because me and Frazier were about the same size.
Did you think he was going to beat Frazier?
Yeah, well, Frazier was made for Foreman. If he'd have fought Frazier 3 times a year, he'd have beat Frazier 3 times a year.
How did he work with you?
Well, me and him had a little rough time, but you know, man. I remember one day, Archie Moore had gave him a thumb down, but I grabbed him and told him, "If you do, boy, I'm gonna hit you somewhere you don't want me to hit you at." And outside that, we was all right. We couldn't be friends.
Was it good money? Did they pay you good money to spar?
I only got $100 round.
$100 a round to spar with Foreman.
Yeah. My manager might have got more, but I thought I got $100. What they was intending to do, which I got paid, I was going to fight Ken Norton. But Ken Norton had a chance to fight Ali, and Ken Norton pulled out. They just went on pay me, and Ken Norton pulled out.
Oh, so when you were preparing with Foreman, you were going to fight Norton, and then Norton pulled out.
Yeah, because he had a chance to fight Ali.
Let me ask you this: what was it like fighting Ron Lyle?
That was a hard fight, but it wasn't hard as the one I fought Earnie Shavers. Ron Lyle was a good little puncher, but you know, I did what I had to do. Alvin Blue Lewis in Detroit, Michigan. That was a hard fight call. You know, when I fought him, he was 17-0. He was undefeated, but you know, that was the fight. It was a good little boxer. You know, had a little punch, but I didn't care nothing about that. Cause you know, I'm the one that invented the overhand right. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I fought Al Blue Lewis, he was beating me up, and I just threw it. I didn't know it was gonna land or not, but it landed, and he gave me a good name. Bob Stallings, the Black Destroyer. Like I said, I could punch.
What do you remember about fighting at Sunnyside Garden?
That's where I won my New York State title at. When I fought, what's his name? Can't get the name now, but Sunnyside Garden was a nice place to fight. It drew a nice crowd and everything.
Talk about fighting in the Garden, what that meant to you.
I mean a lot. I mean a lot. Cause everybody didn't get a chance to fight in the Garden. And regardless where you went to fight, first thing the people would ask you, have you ever fought in the Garden? Yeah, that's a big push. Yeah, I think I had about 6 fights in the Garden. I was lucky.
Yeah.
I had one in the old Garden. When Florida Patterson fought my man out of Canada, I was the old Garden. You know, I fought a couple of times in the new Garden. You know, I enjoyed it. I wish I could continue to fight now, but I'm too old.
I mean, this guy was in there and was competitive and would beat these guys that were fighting for the world title. The only problem is, like I said about boxing, it's a racket. If you don't have and especially in those days, if you didn't have the right management behind you, they were going to use you. And that's what they did with this man, who really, in all honesty, should have been in the top 10, a well-known fighter, where if you mention that era, Bob Stallings should be popping up, just like guys that he beat. And he beat these guys. You don't hear about Bob Stallings.
Right.
When we was fighting, we had to fight. If you didn't fight, you didn't come back. That's what made the game so rough. But now, all you got to do is have a name and climb in the ring. You think I could take 50 years off and come back?
I think you would do well if you're able to do that.